Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I have a ranked monsters Gernichora list for you. And that is the list I like to call Big Waifu Gernichora, because look at Gernichora. She is definitely the one true waifu. And it's a large units list, so that's where the big comes from. We have large units in here, such as Old Speartip Asleep, who is a 9 strength unit, and Count Coldwell, who is a 10 strength unit. And we utilize large units to synergize with the Thrive tag. So Gernichora, if you do not have a fruit on the board, then every turn you can spawn one. And the Gernichora's fruit, as we can see here, has Thrive, which means every time you play a unit bigger than the current value of Gernichora's fruit, it gets one stronger. So it gives you a decent amount of value across multiple rounds, and that's why people quite like Gernichora, because she gives you a little bit more value in the first round as opposed to someone like Woodland, who is utilized in just one round. You know, we can spread those points out. So on top of that, we have the Protofelder. Because we have large units, it's likely that we'll have dominance, which means our unit is the biggest, which we can use this to drain an enemy unit by 3. Otherwise, we can just use it to damage an enemy by 3, which is still 7 points, which is, you know, decent. Geralt of Rivia gives us removal of large units so that we can enable our dominance if our opponent happens to have a large unit. Regis Bloodlost will damage unit by 4 and banish it, and that banish can be kind of useful. But beware that you can also use this on your own unit, so if you play this with nothing, or with only your units on the board, he's going to target you, so just be a little bit aware. Osral we'll use to consume either Coldwell or Speartip out of our graveyard, typically, in order to boost, but we can also consume things from our opponent's graveyard. We have Wispus, Brewis, Weavis combo, and these all kind of work together. When you play one, it improves the effects of the other ones. So Brewis, she consumes a unit, and if you've played Wispus or Weavis, that consume number will be increased. Typically, you'll be playing Brewis first, because the consume is the least useful, I would say, of the tags. Wispus damages an enemy unit by 2, and that's increased by 2 for whenever you play the others, and Weavis boosts a unit by 2, which again can be useful to trigger that dominance tag. Then we have some kind of units that synergize with this whole consume idea. So we have 1 Solano Harpy and 2 Cyclopses, and we can utilize those to consume or destroy our Harpy eggs along with Brewis in order to summon a Harpy, spawn a Harpy and summon it to this row, which is a 5-point unit, whereas the egg is 3. Similarly, we could consume or destroy a Foglet, and that will thin our deck. We can also thin our deck with the Wild Hunt Riders when you play one of these, and if it's the largest unit on the board, it thins the other one. Then we have our Thrive units, so we have an Alpha Werewolf, which has immunity. We have Wyverns, which are 3 strength, damage an enemy by 2, and have Thrive. We have Drowners, which are 2 strength, damage an enemy by 2, and move it, which can be used to disrupt row effects. And then last but not least, we have a couple Plumards, which when you play one, it gives an enemy unit bleeding for 2 turns. Bonded gives an enemy bleeding for 4 turns. Bonded means that there is already a Plumard on the board, so if you control a copy of this card. And they're just nice little 4 strength units, you know, they're not too bad, and they fit quite nicely into the deck in that slot. So that is the Big Waifu Gernichora list. If you enjoy this video, maybe hit that like button. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into a ranked game now, and I'll showcase this deck in action for you guys. Okay, so we are against good old Svalblod. He's going to be damaging his own units in order to trigger certain effects, I guess. And also, I guess, damaging our units, but because of the Thrive tag, that's not too bad. In terms of the mulligan, you're only looking for 1 Foglet and you're only looking for 1 Wild Hunt Rider, but as it is, we have neither. I'm going to mulligan Plumard because I think they're better when you have both of them. The game's just like, oh, here, you wanted both of them? Here you go. Here you go. And we'll see what he gets up to. The good news is a lot of our units boost from playing bigger things, so it's going to be hard for him to maintain damaged units. So that's pretty good. In terms of our hand, we only have 1, 2 Thrive units, which is a little bit on the low side, but we have a lot of large units. We have the Harpy Egg combo, but we also have Brewis, so maybe a little bit too much consume here. And Olaf is an early play, and I actually think we just want to straight Geralt this, right? The whole point of this is he's going to damage it and make it bigger, but we can just send it to the graveyard and just completely counter that whole strategy, and I think that this is probably the correct choice here. Playing the fruit first just so that we can start to utilize that Thrive tag. Because we have no, 1 strength Thrive units, it's kind of okay that we've played this in this order. He killed our fruit, but that's, again, it's okay, we'll get a new one. So let's make some more fruit. So we'll do that and get another one out. And that's why killing the fruit isn't great for him, although it did trigger his Bear Abomination. It's typically considered kind of a waste of points in some regards. So I think we're going to play the Harpy Egg next. We can play the Wyvern the turn after, basically. And by playing it in this order, we get the 3 strength triggers twice. Although we could have played it in the other order. And it would have also been okay. Damage a unit by 1. Cooldown 1. Damage unit by 2. Berserk is when it's past half its base strength. Okay, so he's going to be damaging us by 1. I think I can deal with that, to be quite honest with you. So let's just do this. I want to damage this just because I want to have the largest unit on the board for things like the Protofelder. So I think it's better to do that. What we can do actually is we can use the Solana Harpy to consume the egg. And then we can kill this. Because we have the... Cyclops in hand, that's not too bad. I'm actually going to utilize Brewis, I think, here. And just eat this egg. And you can see we're now ahead of our opponent in terms of points, which is quite nice. And we got a few choices. I think we probably want to kill this one with the Cyclops. Typically, this is where we would play the... This is where we would play the Alpha Werewolf, but I think it's more important to kind of kill this, so let's do that. It's going to trigger our Thrives anyway. And I think just killing that, again, is a pretty good strategy in order to counteract whatever it is that he's doing. He can utilize his bear to kill this, or damage this and boost this, I guess, so he does have points in pocket. Who has the biggest unit? Not us, not us. We want to play, I think we probably want to play Old Spear Tip here. In order to get the largest unit and also to get that into the graveyard. I like it as a play. Alternatively, we can play Coldwell if we don't think he's going to go Toll. Which maybe he's not, and especially if we then have Protofelder to reduce whatever it is that he plays. I actually think that's okay. Okay. Although this guy is quite big. So I think for now, let's play this. And we'll kind of see what happens here. We are still ahead, though, you know, comfortably. He has managed to set up his play, but we can drain the Regis, and then, you know, that disrupts his little strategy again. Because he only wants to have 1 unit in here. And I feel like we're kind of getting to the point where he maybe has some less good cards. Okay. So unfortunately we don't have the largest unit anymore. Although at the moment this is equal to the largest unit. So we could play this. If we play this, we would be ahead, but we'd have to damage this on the next turn, which we can actually do. So it's kind of okay. So I think we're gonna take the risk. You know what? Let's take the risk. It's not gonna defect because it includes itself in the tallest unit, right? So at the moment, I think I'm okay to do this. And he's gonna steal it, isn't he? He's gonna steal it. Oh, that's a lot of plays. So, if we damage this, we have the largest unit. I don't know if I'd even get the... I don't know if this the dominance triggers after I do the damage or before. This guy will get boosted by 1. I'm tempted to try it, you know what? And now we just got the damage. But we are ahead, right? And we're draining another card out of him. And honestly, the more cards we can get out of him here, I think the better. Because I do think we have a better shorter round. If we lose Coldwell, you know, we lose Coldwell, and I'm kind of okay with that. I'm going to pass here. Coldwell's going to probably defect. Yeah, there he goes. It means we can't consume him out of our graveyard, but it doesn't matter because we can consume him out of his graveyard, right? It's absolutely fine. Unfortunately, we didn't have the tools or the damage necessary to disrupt this combo, which is, you know, a shame. It's something that can happen. And I didn't think he would push as long into the round as he did. So, you know, that's the thing. I'm going to throw the Harpy. And then I get an egg. Of course I get an egg. We'll throw the egg as well. I wanted thinning here, really. I wanted like a Foglet or... I wanted like a Foglet or a Wild Hunt Rider. And we didn't get either of those. Which is, you know, a little irritating. But You can't always get your one. And now our draws are going to be kind of awkward. We really want to find Osral or Regis, but because we didn't get our thinning, I think that's going to be quite tricky. I'm going to throw the Cyclops and the Foglet. We got a Harpy. Oh, come on, game. Okay, we have a pretty questionable hand here. Not what we want to see in terms of the hand, honestly. We wanted to find Osral and we didn't find it. And if we'd managed to thin, it would have been, you know, much more likely that we would have found it. So let's just play the fruit. And then the Wild Hunt Rider. And the other thing that would have been really useful in that last round was the Drowners to disrupt that little combo we saw him do with the neutral units. That would have been kind of useful. But whenever this unit takes damage a random enemy unit by 2. I can't quite kill it, unfortunately. I don't know what the best strategy is here. Ideally, I want to play a Drowner, but I don't really want to damage that. But he can just damage it like multiple times himself with his leader. We can bring it down to 1 point actually. So let's do that. It just denies him a little bit of the kind of damage from it. You know, now he can only ping it once. So that's, I think, sensible. Nice Marauder. Like, no comms with that. We are ahead on even. So that's nice. I'm just going to play the Drowner here, I think. And then the other Drowner. And then the Werewolf. And then the Harpy. And then the Weavis, I suppose. I don't really feel like I have enough cards, unfortunately. Okay, so this is something I want to disrupt. But I want to wait till he's played something else to do it. So I need to hold the Drowner. So we're going to use the Drowner for disruption instead. I'm going to play the Harpy, and I'm going to eat the fruit. Because we'll be able to spawn another one on the next turn. Which I quite like as a strategy.
No! All together!
Okay, that's okay. So he's just doing Shield Maidens here. He's going to be able to thin quite a lot of Shield Maidens. I think now is where we move this. He's got his leader, so I'm a little bit like nervous. Unfortunately, he's only going to get a few turns of Shield Maidens, and we don't have the removal we need for them because we spent it on Lugos. It's kind of hard to tell how this game is going to go. We didn't get a big finisher in, you know, Osral, which is kind of unfortunate. But I mean, we do have 11 points in Weavis, so it's still a pretty decent play. What did he destroy? A Harpy. She was like a 7, I think. Okay, so let's trigger all of our thrives with this. 23 to 9. He's got points in his leader, though. So he's going to get the transformation, which is it's a big play, to be honest. He damages down to 2, and then it transforms into a 12. He's got 2 points in hand plus his 5. This could go either way, really. We are up 15, so we need 16 to win. Right? So he'll do damage in order to summon a 5, but that's 2 points of damage to get the 5, so that's 3 points. And as it is, not enough. Not enough. So even though we didn't manage to thin at all, and we didn't draw Osral, he invested, I think, a little too heavily in the first round. And we managed to overcome it somehow, which is just, I guess, testament to the strength of Gernichora as a leader. So that was a pretty good game. Interesting strategy from Styleball. He's not a character you see all that often in the ladder. But let's jump into another game now, and I'll showcase this deck in action once more for you.
I'll reduce your pathetic realms to embers.
Okay, so we're against Ardal, which means we're going to expect a little bit of charming. In terms of the hand, we have both of our Plumards, which is actually kind of nice. We don't really need the Cyclops because we have the Harpy Egg, although if we want to be able to remove, say, his Masters of Disguise, then that could be useful because that is a little bit of a problem with toll units. As it is, we took the mulligan, got Proto-Felder. The hand is pretty strong. Not a lot of Thrive, though. Really not a lot of Thrive. And no big units or thinning. Yeah, we're gonna stick with it. You know, we're gonna take the risk. I maybe should have thinned the Proto-Felders for thinning.
The senses can be fooled easily.
'Cause, you know, we're gonna take the risk. I maybe should have thinned the Proto-Felders for thinning. 'Cause, you know, we're gonna 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 thinning. 'Cause, you know Look at this. Assimilate. Create and play a 1 power copy of a bronze unit from your starting deck. And there you go. That is the strategy. Now he has activated Geralt of Rivia. So that's the thing. So let's get an egg out. And then we play a Drowner. And then, I mean, it's still an 8, right? So it's fine. Although we could just use this as a target for things like bleeding with the Plumards. Because you wanna, give things bleeding that are big usually so that you can try and whittle them down or kill them.
You scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours.
I mean, that's a strategy, right? He definitely got an assimilate unit and kind of damaged me. So let's do this. He's got at least, what, 4 tactics in his deck? So, I guess it's spies, right? Huh. That's an interesting pull. He's basically playing Thrive against me. That's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So, I think we play the other Plumard now. And make this guy bleed as well. It's 2 points per turn. We could stack all of our bleeds onto one target. Boosting the Drowner, I think, is a misplay because now you're not going to benefit from the Thrive. Which I think is kind of awkward. Right, is this where we play Geralt? I think not, because we've got the bleed on at the moment. We can always catch him with 1 card. So, I guess we just kind of continue with our strategy for now. You know, we have quite a few points in pocket, which is pretty good. I don't have any special cards in my deck. I don't even know how that's going to work for him. Because I do not have any special cards in my deck. So we've got 9, 10, 11, 12. Would put us on 20. Yeah, so we could play this. And then play this next. And it should be fine. Or we eat that with Brewis. So we've got 8, 9, 10, 11. Or we've got 5. And 5 is 10. So I guess we play the Brewis here. I'm kind of surprised him playing Fringilla and then not triggering it. But then I guess he couldn't trigger it because I had no special cards. So he was kind of like, eh. The question is, does Ardal have a finisher? Because if Ardal doesn't have a finisher, there's, I think, a fair argument for a bleed here. Depending on the state of my hand and stuff. The only problem is, like, I've got a lot of toll at the moment. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, I think we go for the bleed here. Given the fact that our entire hand is gold. Like, I don't hate it. You know? I don't hate it. The question is, are we going to see value in Geralt? We can, as long as we hold on to these 2 cards, I think we'll be fine.
Welcome, chosen one.
And if we can force him to use his kind of strategy here, like I say, I think that's a pretty good play. So we can kill one of these with Protofelder and the other one with Regis. So let's do that. And he's kind of realized he doesn't have a lot of choice in terms of his strategy here. So we'll probably see the second spy come out. I would imagine. There we go. He's got a shot with that one, which is, you know, fine. Let's kill the other one, drain it. I guess it doesn't matter where we play this. I'm always just like a bit wary of which rows I play things on, because it's likely to cause trouble. Likely to cause trouble. So he's got 8, we've got 22.
A shame I have no time.
Oh my god. And now you have no spies. Nice strategy there, Ardal. Nice strategy. We completely shut him down. I feel a little bit bad. Like, just a little bit bad, you know? The Rot Tosser's going to take out the 7. It's a shame we don't have a thing to boost, so we can't really do anything about the Rot Tosser. But even if it takes out a 7, is it that much of a problem? We can trade it in for 5 and take the 4-point boost. That makes this a 8-point play for him. don't know. I think we still play here, right? Like, what's he got? What's he got to... Wait, does that not do what I think it does anymore? Why is this poisoned? Have they changed it? Oh. Interesting. So it doesn't kill them anymore. It gives them poison. And then... I guess if you poison something twice, it dies. Oh, okay. Well, the more you know. Is he going to have a big unit? Like, do we play this? Because if he steals this, it could win him the round. This is possibly where we pass. Do we go for 2-0? The question is, I mean, I'm up quite. You know what? Stuff it.
Who dares?
We're gonna go for the 2-0, and if we mess it up, then you know maybe he gets lucky, because we don't have great draws, right? This is the best draw we could find.
Interesting choice.
Huh. Well, he pulled the Whispers out of the deck with that play, but he's killed. What has he killed? We only have like a 5 we can eat. So, you know, maybe this is the pass. I don't even know if he can catch us at this point, though. Like, in some ways, I feel like this is still the pass because he's going to kill the 9. So he kills the 9, puts him up to 20-something. I think we still pass here. Oh, he gave up. I actually just had too many points. Oh, poor Ardal. I mean, I kind of shut down his whole spy strategy thing. So then, because I managed to kill all of the Imperas, like, it wasn't going to be good for him. But yeah, that's the deck. It doesn't really do well when Gernichora is common because, you know, I don't have the 12-point old spear tip, for example. So, you know, if there's a lot of big units, sometimes Cold War can be problematic. Sometimes getting dominance can be problematic. But now that Gernichora and big monsters isn't very common, I feel like the deck actually does pretty well. The only decks, like, it can kind of maybe struggle a little bit against are things like the Dana Harmony deck if you don't get the removal you need for some of her engines and stuff. Other than that, like I say, I think it's a pretty strong deck. And I know other people like Flake and McBeard have been having success with it, getting to Pro Ladder and stuff. So, yeah, Gernichora I think is pretty good at the moment, and that is why she is my big waifu. So if you like the video, maybe hit that thumbs up button and let me know what you think about the deck in the comments below. If there's a deck you'd like me to play that you've made, you can always submit your deck to the Fan Fridays text channel in my Discord, and I'll upload a video of me playing a fan deck on Fridays. Again, a link to that in the description below. Beyond that, have an awesome day. Thank you so much for hanging out, and hopefully I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!